3 days ago, on the 21st of September, Moot officially handed over the reins of 4chan to a brand new owner. Now, this doesn't come as a shock to anybody because this is something that people had suspected for a while. Moot had been, over the past year, taking a more hands-off approach to 4chan, and so it seemed likely that eventually he was going to sell it. All his different endeavors, all his different financial activities hadn't really paid off for him. Canvas was pretty much a flop. His iPad app really didn't take off. And so, at the end of his rope, apparently with a website that was costing him more to run than he was able to make through ad revenue and other different means such as the 4chan Pass or implementing different programs, he wasn't really turning a profit. It wasn't maybe a break-even endeavor for him. It wasn't something that was profitable, and over the past decade had finally kind of taken its toll on him. He wanted to move on. So who is he going to sell it to? Was it going to be Condé Nast? Was it going to be the Reddit family? Was he going to do something weird, maybe go talk to Zuckerberg or talk to Google or Yahoo? Who would take this? I mean, after all, Moot has run it for a decade. And he has consistently said over the years that it does not make money for him, even with advertisers, even with different programs. So what company is going to buy that? I mean, they're going to have a reason to buy 4chan that goes beyond simple advertising. Well, enter Hiroyuki Nishimura. Now, Hiroyuki is the great-grandfather. This is how Moot explained it in his news article, that he is the man that inspired the site that inspired Moot. He is kind of the great-grandfather of anonymous image boards, and who better to take over the reins of 4chan than this specific individual? The person who had run 2channel, the inventor, the creator of it. I mean, you couldn't ask for somebody better, right? You're not going to get Reddit. You're not going to get some shitty fucking corporate entity. You're getting a guy who understands the culture of an image board, who understands anonymous posting. So everybody should be happy. But it still begs the question, why would Hiroyuki have any interest in it? What possible motivation would he have for taking on 4chan? After all, it's not making money. Why take it over? If it's going to cost him more money to run it than he can make, it doesn't seem like a likely venture for him to take part in. The advertising's not going to cut it, so what would be Hiroyuki's motivation? Well, as many people have come to find out, he was involved in some rather shady dealings with 2channel and its user base. Namely, data mining its users and selling their information to companies. Now, he did this through a man named Uchiyama. Now, Uchiyama is the president of Hot2Link. Now, both Nishimura and Uchiyama were business partners. In fact, they had their own little arrangement going on. It came to light through a posting made by Uchiyama, and again, this is Hiroyuki's business partner, that Hot2Link was running a paid service to delete postings on 2chan. But it went even further than that. The more people began to dig, the more connections they found with Uchiyama's company and the activities it was involved in. It wasn't just a paid service to delete. There were other things that were going on, namely data mining, taking user information and finding a way to profit off of it. Your address, your name, your IP address, your location, your posting habits. Even more than that, it was speculated it was used to suppress political dissent and to back certain political viewpoints. That Uchiyama's Hot2Link was working with government officials to try to shape the conversations that were happening on an anonymous image board. Now you may be saying, well, who cares? That's 2channel. And it's not really substantiated. Sure, we have a lot of people complaining. There are lawsuits that are going on. Hiroyuki is actually going to be taking Watkins to court, he says, in a few months, sometime in November of this year, to dispute the business relationship they had and who is really responsible ultimately for what happened at 2channel. Well, there's some information you should know about in the 2 weeks leading up to Hiroyuki taking over 4chan. And again, I want you to listen to the following with this one question in mind. Why would somebody buy 4chan if they can't turn a profit off it? 5 days before Hiroyuki takes over the ownership of 4chan, Hot2Link, and this is the company owned by Uchiyama, the business partner that was involved with Hiroyuki in the 2chan debacle. Well, 5 days, again, before that purchase, before taking over 4chan, Uchiyama, through Hot2Link, announces this. Hot2Link Inc. says its US-based wholly owned subsidiary has formed a business alliance with US-based company Foursquare on September 17th. Says the two entities will cooperate on worldwide sale of user review data with Foursquare location information. What is Foursquare? I mean, what do they specialize in? Well, Foursquare specializes in geolocation information. And in fact, this isn't the first time they were in the news in September. If you go just 6 days before this announcement of an alliance between Foursquare and Hot2Link, you'll find this article on Business Insider. Dennis Crowley explains Foursquare's new magic trick. I'd like to read you a few excerpts so you get an idea of what Foursquare is about. Foursquare used to be all about the check-ins, but now it's trying to fake beacons with all of the data it has collected, according to its CEO, Dennis Crowley. During a question and answer session on Product Hunt, a popular website for discovering new startups, Crowley said his company's big magic trick is understanding how phones move in and out of spaces and whether a person is moving or stopped. The article ends with this. The hard part is figuring out whether the person is stopped just on a sidewalk versus in an interesting place that it might be worth sending a notification about, Crowley said. While he likes beacons, they can be hard to convince store owners to use. That's where the map of data could come in for the company. If stopped, are you at a place on the sidewalk in traffic? If you're in a place, is it an interesting place versus, say, a dry cleaner's? And if it is interesting, what can Foursquare tell you about that place? And is that thing interesting enough for us to warrant us buzzing your phone or wrist to tell you about it? This stuff is very hard to do. So hard that there are basically no other companies doing it right now. What you're starting to see emerge here is a company that specializes in geotagging, finding the specific place that you're at for a mobile user through their phone. That company, Foursquare, is partnered with Hatulink, the company owned by Uchiyama, the same company that was partnered with Hiroyuki on the 2-channel debacle, where they were using personal information to delete posts, to track users, to sell data, and to suppress dissent and force a narrative. And now, Hiroyuki, after these two big announcements, after Foursquare talks about its new magic trick, about how good it is at doing this, that is the only company able to do this right now, they're suddenly partnered with a company owned by Uchiyama, who is a business associate of Hiroyuki. Now, thinking back to that original question, what could possibly be profitable about 4chan? Because advertising just isn't cutting it. It's no surprise if you look at stats all over the internet that mobile users are becoming the majority. People browse the internet on their phones, on their tablets, on the go. If you could get information about a person's habits throughout the day and connect it to their posting on different boards on a website that is largely controversial, where people put up all sorts of opinions, imagine the package you could put together to sell to companies for data mining or to sell to, say, government agencies such as, I don't know, the NSA. 4chan has some boards like Poll, which are very popular, where people make all sorts of radical statements. We can track his movements throughout the day, Mr. NSA, Mr. PRISM program, and we can give you that data. And all you got to do is give us a few bucks, or maybe a little bit of protection, as we run our website a new way, a different way, the Hiroyuki way. The same behavior that took place in Japan, the same thing that happened with 2channel. And now this is all a remarkable coincidence that Hiroyuki takes over 4chan, and 5 days before that, Hatulink partners with Foursquare, and 6 days before that, Foursquare talks about their brand new tracking technology. If you believe you are safe posting on 4chan, you are fucking deluded. In fact, one of the 2chan lead developers, CodeMonkeyZ, had written a pastebin talking about how Hiroyuki Nishimura will sell 4chan data. Things to know: Hiroyuki recently purchased 4chan from Moot. Hatulink is a Japanese big data analytics and data mining company. They specialize in mining and selling the data behind social media, blogs, and BBS forums. They currently only provide service to Japanese and Chinese companies, utilizing data from 2chan, Twitter, Weibo, blogs, etc. The services they provide are a product performance analysis and marketing solutions based on social media data. Nico Nico Doja is Japan's equivalent of YouTube. Hiroyuki is some kind of employed with their project. Hiroyuki's company, Brazil Future Search, provides a search solution for Nico Nico Doja. 2chan SC is Hiroyuki's pirate site of 2chan.net. Hiroyuki made 2chan.se to fulfill his contracts to Hatulink, which provide him with millions of US dollars per annum, according to Hatulink's published financial reports. Brazil Future Search is Hiroyuki's search engine, company specializing in real-time search solutions. They currently provide search for Nico Nico Doja and 2chan.sc and others. Epheus is a company that runs broadreader.com. They were recently bought out by Hatulink as the first expansion into the US market. How Hiroyuki will sell 4chan data. Step 1. Brazil Future Search will make real-time search engine for 4chan text only. They will forgo images because images are not important in data mining. Step 2. The new 4chan search engine will provide data to Ephes, broadreader.com. Broadreader.com will add 4chan search to their board search. Effie's Broadreader.com will provide a fire hose of data to Hot2Link, their parent company, to use in data mining. American companies will begin purchasing analytical data from Hot2Link. Step 6, there is no Step 6. You have already had your data sold to the highest bidder. Now, CodeMonkeyZ talks about FS and about how they'll use a search engine to basically mine data. I think what you're seeing here is a picture emerging of two differing approaches through multiple companies, all linked to Hot2Link. One will deal probably with the majority of people on the website who are using the search feature, and that can be split up between maybe home desktop users and mobile users. And I think that Foursquare and the subsidiary partnership with Hot2Link's American company are going to go after mobile users. At the end of the day, you have to ask, how the hell is this guy going to make money? This is how he's going to make it. He's going to fuck you like he fucked the Japanese, and he's going to do it through backroom dealings. He's going to do it with companies that want to buy your information. If you think your information is safe, if you think your shitposting protects you, I have bad news for you.